Hello everyone and welcome back for some Angels with Scaly Wings. There it is. Hello Gabriel, I'm doing pretty good. How about you? Alright, so we left off in chapter 3 and I believe we're doing the investigation. So that means we've got about this episode and 4 more left, and we're actually done with this series. Dame Danae? I have no idea what that is. That sounds... It sounds kind of like Spanish, the way I pronounce it, but that does not feel like a Spanish script. That sounds... maybe like a mix between French and German? I don't know languages. That does not sound familiar to me at all. So we have the morning sun declaring the arrival of a new day, and we awoke from our vivid dreams. Memories of our home, enclosed with the towering perimeter wall, raced through our head. The peaceful landscape outside the apartment windows stood in defiance of these old thoughts. Rolling hills and blue skies were familiar to us by now. The purity of the sight gave us hope. And hope it should give. Cabbage, please come with me. What's going on? You sound serious. The chief will explain everything once we arrive. Okay. A meme you discovered? I have no idea what it is anyways. Is it real world or makeup? I don't know, I would have to... I mean, aside from this game being fantasy and all, I would have to say this is otherwise a real world. Hey Chief, Cabbage is here. Thanks, Sebastian. You can deal with the situation here while I talk to Cabbage, alright? Of course. Cabbage, I've got some really bad news. Well, what is it? You know Anna, right? I've met her, yes. How about her assistant? I've met him once or twice. Well, that's him. Dun dun dun! Oh, word, sorry. That's a good question. Apparently it's a meme that Justin discovered, so I guess it's a made-up word. Are you okay? That is, are we okay? Alright, so first question for the audience here. Are we fine, or are you guys unsure? In that kind of context, I could actually take complete silence as, I don't know, because I don't know what everybody's feeling. YouTube censored your comment. Huh. Interesting. Oh, and before I forget, I'm gonna hop into the public channel 1 in the Discord. The link is in the description, but you probably won't get in right away. You can actually be there, you can introduce yourself, and then you'll be invited whenever Alpha or Dev get the chance. But I guess this is more for Justin. If he gets the chance and he wants to hop in, sure. I don't think Jason is going to be joining us today. But if he's interested, sure, he can join. I'm just there for generally anyone who wants to join. Just, of course, you know, be respectful. I have no idea. If it's apparently censoring the name of the language, then apparently that means it is a real world, just word, just obviously in another language. So I suppose you could PM it to me. Maybe it is just close enough to a swear that YouTube is uncertain in English or other language. This is actually on live chat. Actually, that is not logged in for whatever reason. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Showing it on my Chrome window instead of OBS. For some reason, I can't actually sign into my my own account from OBS anymore. Okay, so yeah. Couldn't sign you in. Now how do I actually refresh that? Interact. Can I hit F5? Alright, hang on, I might have an idea. No, that didn't work. Alright. Properties. Yeah, definitely not a smart thing to be doing actively in chat. In an actual live stream. Alright. Bring that back to live, even though it's not showing up. That's good that it's not actually signed in, because if there is a swear, then at least it's not showing up before somebody can allow or deny that. But here's me being an idiot. YouTube's sometimes dumb. Just in case if it shows there, sometimes YouTube censors things for no reason. Yeah, I don't know. It's gotta be like, maybe it's close enough to a swear in another language, and YouTube just doesn't recognize the difference. Huh. I wonder if maybe what was actually said. No, that was completely different. I have no idea. Maybe YouTube developed racism? I don't know. Or maybe it thought it was racism. Because of the context that it's Japanese instead of... I don't know. Anyways, YouTube... I'll take your lack of response for I don't know for now. Is there anything I can do? Let's just get this over with. Brace gave us a concerned look, but then nodded. And there's more bad news. The blood we found on the first victim in town matches the DNA evidence found on the second victim at the power facility. Furthermore, the murder weapon and method appear to be the same across all 3 victims, and that's going to be a big problem for you. Why is that? Because all of these murders, Reza now qualifies as a serial killer. You won't be able to keep this whole thing quiet for much longer. Higher authorities, including the ministry in charge of your whole visit, will know about this soon. I have no idea what will happen once they do. I'm not sure what to say. I don't want to worry you, but we can be sure that action will be taken soon. I've been considering the possibility for a while, and I think it might be best if you went back to your own world for now. This way, we can take action before the ministry does, and before all this becomes public. If we wait, we don't know what they'll do or how the public will react. With everything going on, it's too dangerous for you to stay here. No. No? This would be the worst possible time for me to leave. We've given up our PDAs and hardly have anything to show for it. We are with several more generators, and let's not forget that Reza is still missing. If I leave now, the only thing I return home with is my life. I'll have lost everything else. We need those generators, Bryce. I have no idea if your authorities will continue to uphold our deal, or what they do to Reza, but I'm not leaving until this is over. If that's your decision, so be it. So it turns out we've seen this before. No, we're not skipping ahead. Anyway, let's get back on track. I called you here for a reason, Cabbage. In addition to the murders, Several things were stolen, among them your PDAs, batteries, and some components used to build generators. Does that ring any bells? No, not really. Reza might still have some knowledge of electronics, but I doubt he has enough to assemble any of your generators, even if he had the parts. Strange. Even so, it's fair to assume that Reza's involvement at this point. No one else has a greater motive to steal the PDAs, especially after what happened between him and Maverick. Unless someone wanted to frame Reza in order to sabotage this whole operation. Do you really believe that? Hey, I'm just saying that it's possible. I'll shelf that idea under possible but unlikely. Oh hey, Twin. If you are available for voice chat, I am in Public 1 if you want to hang out. Not a problem, but how are you doing? Hey Chief, are we done here? Pretty much. Why do you ask? I just got a message from the higher-ups. You and Cabbage are to report to the Ministry of Culture and Arts immediately. Immediately as in right now? Yeah, apparently. What's going on? To be frank, I don't know. This is an extraordinary situation, and now that it's getting out of hand, they must want to address it. Alright, you two, Jason, if you want to participate, I mean, not a problem. We can answer. This is the worst possibility. Maybe it's not going to be a big deal. Or maybe they're going to throw us a surprise party. For us! The eyes. Alright guys, so what is your choice anyways? 1, 2, or 3? Do I need to break up the dice? Nobody's even answering anymore, it's just the eyes on the news now. I have exactly 1 bottle of water here left. I mean, it's fine, I actually do have more flats, it's just this is... here we go, this is the last one in the flat. Alright, so the dice, because nobody's answering, say, so this is the worst possibility. If you expect the worst, at least you won't be disappointed. Sebastian, you can finish up here, and go to the ministry when you're done. We'll probably have to make some arrangements after this meeting. Sure thing, Chief. Let's go then, shall we? It's not like we have a choice. There's Emira. For the first time. For the last time. That was quicker than I expected. I wouldn't have minded waiting out here for a little longer. Greetings, Minister. Greetings. Shall we go inside for our official business? No, I've got everything I need right here. It gets so stuffy inside on hot days. My assistant doesn't seem to mind, but I prefer the fresh air. I'd rather just stay right here, unless you have any objections. I don't. I see. Well, I know I haven't exactly been up to date in regards to Reza's sudden disappearance, but to get the message today that he is a confirmed serial killer was quite shocking. Frankly, I'm curious as to why MMOs, why the facts in this case have been withheld from me for so long. Simply because they aren't within your jurisdiction. The murders were strictly a police matter. Only with the amount of new evidence, namely the DNA and blood we found, and with these 3 murders now being linked together, and to find him, did your ministry have to become involved. I see. So Reza's involvement is now undeniable. I'm afraid so, Minister. Facts are nothing to be afraid of, though in light of all this, I'm starting to worry about my personal safety. With Arthek hides, I don't think our species has much to fear if we consider the murder weapon. I mean, considering the murder weapon, that's one thing. With just a knife, you would largely be fine. Unless you really get unlucky or something. I mean, it looks like the neck is kind of weak, right? The weak spot? Among Us, but it's angels with scaly wings. I would actually need to take a look at Among Us. I've seen some of my friends on Steam playing Among Us, and I've never actually taken a look at it myself yet. But yeah, it looks like basically the neck and the underbelly is the weak point on Earth Dragons. So yeah, I wouldn't see them needing to worry too much. But then Reza does have his gun, so I mean that's been hurting Maverick, and Maverick is already pretty armored up as it is, and he's not even an Earth Dragon. So, yeah, you do need to be just a little worried, right? Speak for yourself. You don't think someone of my standing needs protection? Oh, for sure. If you're worried about your personal safety, we could look into an escort for you. Good. Considering all the murders took place during the night, all certainly need it. Long days are endemic in my line of work. That's enough about myself. We now face the question of what should be done about Reza and Cabbage. Minister, we continue our hunt for Reza every day. As a matter of fact, Cabbage has been helping us to do so for a while now. Who is do you mean imposter? Is that autocorrect there, Gabriel? Who is imposter? I haven't played Among Us, but I think that's basically, I can't remember the game now. It's basically a game of deception, right? One guy is a saboteur among everyone else who's not, kind of stuff. I've played some games like that. But I couldn't say anyone is an imposter in Angels with Scaly Wings. Nobody's really an imposter, it's just literally Reza. He's not even trying to hide it. Minister, we continue our hunt for Reza every day. As a matter of fact, Cabbage has been helping us to do so for a while now. Is that so? One human a murderer, another a detective. Interesting. Fair enough. A lot of games that I have played back in 2005 to 2000 something. Basically StarCraft and StarCraft 2, they have campaign scenarios where they actually make games of stealth and deception like that. So I have played a few of those, and it usually is only actually just the one guy who's in disguise, incognito. And how do we know Cabbage isn't simply following a similar plan to Reza, whatever that may be? Similar concerns were leveled by Reza's escort, Maverick. It was his overreaction that caused Reza to run away in the first place. Let the human talk for once, Chief. Please, Cabbage, enlighten me. You and Reza came here on the same mission, and the situation has escalated beyond our expectations. What you tell me now will determine the actions I'll take on this matter. Now, considering that we know Emira already, I don't think she's gonna actually change her actions. Literally, we could just say, yep, no, I'm good, and she'll send us to the portal. Because she always aligns with the popular opinion, she doesn't want to have any responsibility. So, maybe if we were actually to blackmail her, it's aha, but if you try to send me home, I will tell the people, and it will be your fault. And maybe that will be okay. I'm just kidding. Bryce is a good ending. Reza was not the imposter. Ah, yeah. Well, actually, that would be kind of the one time in which there was a imposter even, and it wasn't actually Reza. And then the best part too is that it wasn't even Reza who actually killed anyone. It was now Cabbage. Alright. Maybe we should start by I opened my mouth, but Bryce spoke first, determined to defend me. Arguably, the problems that caused all this were apparent even then. How so? Maverick suspected Reza of planning something, but I didn't think he had a case. Cab ambassador. Huh. Cab ambassador? Wait, hang on. Cab imposter. There we go. I think that's what you're going for, right, Justin? Just a huge mash of names? Well, did he? No, what he had was a suspicion. The night he followed Reza, he found both him and Cabbage at the portal. The humans intended to send one of their promised generators through, but there was a confrontation that ended with both Maverick and Cabbage wounded, and Reza went running away. Cab impassive. I'm not even going to try that anymore. I can't talk. Apparently I need lots of practice on a new word, or a new word. What is it? Not conjunction. A new word array. A pronunciation array. Me computer. Me no good. Need practice. Reza's been missing ever since. I've read the reports already, Chief. The question is, did Maverick cause this, or did he just fail to prevent it? I have no way of knowing that, Minister. You just mentioned your apparent knowledge of problems back then. Problems may not have been the right word. Let's just say Maverick's attitude was not helpful during the encounter. Why did you choose Maverick as his escort in the first place? Protection from the human ambassador was my greatest concern when I made that decision, and Maverick was the most capable individual in that regards. Well, that worked out nicely, didn't it? I also seem to think that Maverick should have remained Reza's escort. Is that true? Yes. Had I paid more attention to the warning signs, this situation may have been avoided. So you accept responsibility for the incident? Yes, Minister. I see. Now, let's get back to the topic of Cabbage. Reza was your partner in humanity's mission to come to this world. His list of criminal activities not only includes murder, but also theft of generators, electronic components, and the PDAs you gave, your people gave to us. I understand why Bryce would reason that you could help with the investigation, but we have no other choice but to be suspicious of Reza's partner. What was your motivation when you agreed to help us? Alright, YouTube. What was our motivation? And I'm actually going to be looking at YouTube this time. I want an answer this time. Are we going to answer that Bryce wouldn't let me say no? Well, wouldn't let us say no. Are we going to tell him that it was our best bet at finding the truth? Are we going to tell her that it was beneficial to our actual mission? And we don't need to worry about whatever choice it is. If you want to go wild, you go ahead and go wild. They'll let Dio answer. Are we gonna call in Dio Brando, or are you referring to Gabriel? Vote Cabbage? You guys. I'm not sure who I need to be more looking at right now, Justin or Gabriel. I can understand Justin wanting to let someone else answer. Granted, neither of you have actually answered thus far. And otherwise, Gabriel, I do respect that you want to leave it up to random chance even, because if I don't get an answer, I do have my dice right here ready to roll. Dice, aka Factorio. No, Factorio is not dice. Factorio is all constants. I choose you. Alright, so the dice say it's my best bet at finding the truth. I thought Rez's involvement was undeniable at this point. That may be true, but we still don't know the whole picture. We don't know if others are involved or his reasons. I just want to know why. I see. Well, after reading up on the whole situation and hearing both of your accounts, I believe that Cabbage is trustworthy. Nevertheless, I think Cabbage presents a great risk. Why is that? After this meeting, I will hold a press conference to inform the public of the current situation. The people must know of the danger posed by Reza. No matter what Bryce and I think of your involvement, the public could feel differently. You, me, and Bryce will face the backlash resulting from this information becoming public. And what's more, Cabbage, you might be in real danger yourself. Vote who is imposter. I'm gonna turn the tables. I'm going to abstain. Reza himself may come to silence you once he learns that you are helping us, or consider the public uproar from those who would question your involvement. All things considered, it would be best if you return to your own world until the situation has been resolved. I came to the very same conclusion, Minister. And with your support, this is what shall be done. Please don't... You don't agree? If you send me back now, this diplomatic relationship is over. I'd have to admit defeat to humanity, and there's no way I can return without your generators, our PDAs, or Reza. Maybe you could explain to them what a great choice of Ambassador Reza was. But I was his partner, so in a way he is my responsibility. I can't just go back like this. I'm afraid that's not enough. It certainly doesn't outweigh our reasons for sending you home. Just let me explain, I'll tell you everything. Alright, time to refresh with some water. I've got some talking to do. Oh yeah, and my cat is sleeping over there. You can just see the edge of her on the camera. Years ago, our world was prosperous. Our technology was far more advanced than yours, even. Computers not only graced every household, but every single person. It was the age of information. Even children had the power to access the most advanced knowledge at their fingertips. With our PDAs, our interconnectedness with other people and our environment was greater than ever. From location to repetitious work and household chores, many processes were automated to such a degree that, except for our jobs and hobbies, there was nothing that needed to be done by a person anymore. Even the concept of someone wielding a weapon was outdated, as wars were no longer fought by people, but machines. Looking back, it was probably the single most prosperous time in human history. Exploitation of the environment and other people was at an all-time low, as was crime. Conversely, our technological advancements had drastically increased quality of life. Humans were no longer required for strenuous and repetitive tasks. Education had reached an all-time high, and many new jobs were created. General happiness had reached levels never before seen. Yet one day, everything changed. A solar flare that was headed for Earth was detected by an automated monitoring system. It was determined to be so powerful that it dwarfed all others ever reported in history. We had less than a week to prepare. Chaos hit much earlier than that, as people scrambled to shield themselves and their possessions from the incoming ion storm. On a worldwide level, power lines were switched off, satellites reoriented in space, and planes grounded to mitigate the effects that would hit us. Despite humanity's contingency plan for such an event, and all our efforts, we were still not prepared for the sheer magnitude of the solar flare that arrived. So, in a nutshell, you were not prepared! Illidan Stormreach. It was only then, when our race had become so dependent on technology that we were immeasurably vulnerable against this kind of disaster. That day, a force with the power of 10 billion Hiroshima bombs was unleashed into our atmosphere. The eyewitness reports from this day were varied as they were terrifying. A huge, beautiful aurora could be seen on the horizon before fireballs hurled across the sky. In some places, these lights became so bright that even those asleep at night awoke, as though the day had already arrived. A coronal mass ejection by itself did not have the power to kill anyone directly, but the side effects were disastrous. After the lights in the sky arrived, sparks showered from electrical outlets everywhere, igniting rampant fires in every town and city. Facilities that stored weapons, fireworks, or other explosives became centers of widespread destruction and loss of life. During the next stage, the solar flare started to affect body modifications that caused common pacemakers and nanomachines to fail. 15% of the world's population died as the result of this alone. Once the full power of the waves hit us, however, society was, as we knew it, collapsed in one fell swoop. Power grids on Earth shut down in an instant, as did all the machines that automated our routine tasks. Long-distance communication and transport became a thing of the past. Without electrical power, the quality of healthcare plummeted and water and sewage systems were crippled. Disease we thought defeated centuries ago made their comeback in a most unsightly fashion. Many thought the end of the world had arrived, and in a way it did. Some people blamed whoever their belief system would allow, angry at the gods that had forsaken them. Others pointed their fingers at our lifestyle and society. Not that anyone was listening. Practically, we were taken back to the Middle Ages. Governments collapsed and were overthrown, and the ensuing power vacuums filled with groups of people that were sometimes organized and sometimes not. The few functioning electrical devices left became rare, sought-after artifacts over which battles and even wars were fought. Of course, there were also wars over resources and territory. The weaponry used was improvised, or reclaimed from the days when humans had been present on the battlefield. It had been ages, but people returned to the old, bloody ways of war. Humanity was in shambles now. Those that I'd call family and friends now live with me in a giant, mostly self-sufficient city-state of survivors. A huge wall around the perimeter, guarded by militia, prevents any outside interference. It's the only way we can retain a modicum of order. Gangs of raiders and looters run rampant on the outside. They wouldn't hesitate to kill first and ask questions later if they had known about my PDA. Our contained community has flourished for years now. We have homes to live in, crops to grow and livestock to raise, and still have our own automated hospitals that run on salvaged generators. Lately though, supplies have started to run low, and dangerously so. The power we have is running out. Illnesses are spreading throughout the city, and treatment isn't as available as it used to be. Our population is dropping by the day. We took a great risk to increase the radius of our scouting missions, desperate to find something outside the walls that could help us. You already know the rest of the story. We found the portal, and did you. And by now you know why this whole thing is so important. All our hopes lie in acquiring these generators you promised us. The act of sending Reza and me here was, without a doubt, already cost the lives of some of the people back home. Beyond the city walls is a dead zone. We haven't heard from any of the other settlements for months now. The state of the rest of the world is unknown. When Reza and I were sent here, my peers made it clear that this was our last chance. If anything happens to us, no more people will be sent. If we can't manage to bring back something that will help us, we'll have sealed the fate of tens of thousands that live in the city. I'm sorry, Cabbage. I didn't know. If what you're telling me is true, it unfortunately does not work in your favor. As sad as your situation may be, it gives Reza a motive. Desperate times call for desperate measures, after all. In that vein, it also gives you a motive, considering the gravity of of humanity's the gravity of human plight. It gives you all the more reason to collaborate with him. I'm not. What Reza is doing is wrong. You can't send me away under these circumstances because I'm your best bet at finding him. Even so, you would still be in grave danger after we announce Reza's involvement in the murders. I cannot and will not take responsibility for the consequences when I know of the risks. What about our deal then? In the wake of this new information, and as a sign of goodwill, we will send the generators you are owed through the portal once this is over, under 2 conditions. Humanity must condemn Reza's actions, and we must reclaim the stolen PDAs. I've changed my mind. You should let Cabbage stay here. I cannot take your word under consideration on this matter, Chief. Taking into account Maverick's actions, and your responsibility for them, you will have to be dealt with separately. With my authority as the minister in charge of the human visit, my decision is to have Cabbage sent back to the human world through the portal. Please. Immediately. Chief, please arrange for an escort to take Cabbage to the portal now. I could do it myself, Minister. Well, we have our own matters to discuss, Chief, and I would rather get that over with as quickly as possible. In that case, one of my officers should be here any moment. I arranged for him to meet us here. How handy. Then let us wait for this officer of yours. It didn't take long for Sebastian to arrive. After the situation was explained, he was visibly shocked, but didn't protest when he was given the task of sending us back through the portal. Let's go, Cabbage. Don't I even get to say goodbye? Let us not waste any more time. You will still be free to send letters after you have arrived on the other side. Just go, Cabbage. Come on then. We were silent as Sebastian and I made our way to the portal. With each step we took, we drew closer and closer to the hopelessness waiting for us in the ruins of the human world. Filthy humans. All in all, I certainly had a unique experience alongside these dragons, and although this place was filled with just as much drama and murder as back home, I would remember this world and all the people I met. I would fondly think about the days I spent in their comfortable standard of living, a shadow of how humanity used to be. Even without the generators, at the very least, I'd be returning home with a few life lessons. What's going on here? Lost in thought, I hadn't even noticed the Dean approach. As none of your concern, please leave. Can't I even get a few minutes before I go? I suppose nobody's stopping us, but make it quick. A human on official business, huh? I don't even know you right now, do I? Don't you remember? I met you in the cafe and at the crime scene. But that's all, isn't it? Unless I missed something, yeah? What are you doing out here? I was just practicing my flying when I spotted you down here. And who would say no to an opportunity to meet one of the humans? Not me. I'm afraid this will be both our first and last opportunity to talk. I'm about to leave this world again. Is that so? That's too bad. Kind of a shame I never got to know you. Wait, does this have something to do with those rumors I heard? Is Reza really a murderer? I'm afraid so. What does that make you? I don't have anything to do with that. I was helping the police find him. Then why are you leaving? It's for my own safety, apparently. This wasn't my decision. Really? But what about Reza? All I could offer was a shrug. I guess they're convinced that they can find him on their own. I see. I'm not sure what to think anymore. I'm not sure either. I looked over my shoulder and glanced at Sebastian. I should get going now. Alright. Goodbye, Cabbage. Say goodbye to Sada Dean, everyone. Goodbye, Dean. And then Cabbage says goodbye anyways. I remember her. That was the witness from Reza's first murder. Did you know her? Alright, so we can answer now. Justin. So we can answer now a little, no, or yes. And just for the status, we do not. But we have Lorem and Bryce. Oh, they're smiling, they're impressed. Anna is not so impressed. A little? Alright, I'll take that. That's the first choice in, what was it, 15, almost 15 minutes of this entire stream. Nobody has actually said anything. To one of the choices, that is. I see. A few minutes later, we arrived at the portal, standing proud as ever in defiance of the elements. How many years had the structure survived before it was found? That's fine, Justin. I hope I can remember how this thing works. Are you joking? Yeah, sorry. I got it. Mostly talkative to you. Yeah, that's fair. I was just hoping that everybody would actually be interacting with this stream, and for the first 10 minutes, I'm actually sitting here waiting for people to actually interact with which choice they want, and either nobody says anything, or they're memeing Justin, or they're pointing the finger at someone else. Like, what was it? I'll let Dio answer this. Vote Cabbage! Dice, aka Factorio. Vote who is imposter. Alright, I suppose this is time for us to say goodbye. Let's keep it professional. I don't like to mix personal matters with work. He looked away, and I shrugged. Go ahead and turn it on, then. Would you stand between the pillars, please? Of course. I took my place and stared towards the horizon while I thought of what would happen now, in this world and the others. Even if I made a break for it, I'd become a fugitive, no better than Reza, and it would be near impossible to investigate the case by myself, while on the run in a world I knew so little about. At the very least, I took comfort in the fact that I did everything I could to help, even if it turned out like this. Nevertheless, I dreaded going back empty-handed and returning to my old life in our ruined city. Any second now, the teleportation process would start, disintegrating my body before I would reappear on the other side, back in my dying world. I wondered if there was any risk of getting lost somewhere between worlds. We didn't really know how the portals worked after all. Maybe I would be flung somewhere else in space-time, or it might affect my body in some way. I hadn't noticed any unusual changes in my body since I arrived from the Dragon's World, but I had no way of knowing if there were any potential long-term side effects. I still remember the images I saw when I teleported the first time, the vivid insights and patterns. People and situations I have recognized since then. It only took a moment to arrive on the other side of the portal, yet it felt like I had dreamed 1,000 dreams. And during the nights I spent here, these dreams had often reappeared. Any time now, I would undergo the same experience again. I was almost relieved that my adventure was over. Things had turned out far differently than I expected. I evaded danger, got swept into a murder investigation, and met incredibly intelligent beings from several different species. It had certainly been a time to remember. With that thought, I closed my eyes and braced myself for the moment that would come any second now. But that moment never came. The next thing that did happen was that I heard Sebastian's voice. It's not working. Are you joking again? No, really, it's not working. Wait, what is this? It's broken. It's not working. Can you fix it? I don't think so. This doesn't look like a simple act of vandalism. It looks like some parts were torn out. I guess that means I'm not leaving. Huh. Not yet, at least. Well, what do we do now? Let's head back. The chief has to know about this right away. We were back at the ministry before long. Emera and Bryce were still outside as Remy approached the two of them. Here are the case files, Emera. Why, thank you. Cabbage and an officer? What is this about, Emera? That is what I would like to know. Please, officer, enlighten me. Why has my order not been carried out? The portal is broken. It's broken? Yeah, it looks like somebody tampered with it and stole parts. I couldn't even get the interface to turn on. We'll check it out once I'm done here. I suppose Cabbage will stay with us for a bit longer after all. Seeing how this is an emergency situation, I will make this short. Chief, as a result of your carelessness regarding Maverick and Reza, you're temporarily removed from any duties relating to the humans. Given these dangerous times, you will instead serve as my personal escort until further notice. Considering the circumstances, you'll be allowed to coordinate the investigation of the portal, but after that you are to immediately return to me to start your new task, understood? Understood. Then all of you are dismissed. She turned to leave, Remy trailing after her. Alright, let's head to the portal. That includes you, Cabbage. Of course. Out of the corner of my eye, I spotted a sheet of paper on the ground. Hey, what's this? Emma probably dropped one of the case files. Either her or her assistant. You better bring that to her. Sebastian and I should hurry to the portal. Meet us there afterwards, okay? Sure. I picked up the sheet and started reading. It was about what had happened when I met Reza at the portal. Of course, it didn't say anything that I didn't already know. As I walked up the stairs, I wondered if it was okay for an unauthorized person to enter the building. All I knew about the place was that Emma worked here. I did have an important document that was going to be missed, so I walked inside only to be greeted by an empty lobby. Luckily, there were signs that directed me to Emma's office. It didn't take long to find it, and I heard voices when I approached the door. By the way, what happened to the scroll you brought me this morning? The last time I saw it, it did not have that tear. I dropped it. Tell me something new for once. Okay, someone else dropped it. Am I supposed to believe that? Remy, are you aware of how much this costs? Repairing and replacing artifacts is not cheap. I'm afraid we'll have to deduct this from your wage again. I see. You're not doing this on purpose, are you? Of course not. You have been working for me for a long time now. I expect you to learn at some point, but you are very resistant to do so. Not wanting to listen to this any longer, I decided to knock. There were a few seconds of silence. Please, come in. I only opened the door long enough to hand Remy a sheet of paper. I think you dropped this outside. After I closed the door and started to walk away, I heard the voices resume. This is from the case files you requested. You must have dropped it. Then why was it left outside? As my assistant, you should have paid more attention. If this got into the wrong hands, someone could get in trouble. I made my way back to the portal and arrived shortly after Bryce and Sebastian. Well, I can confirm that it's not turning on. I told you that already. Just wanted to be sure. You really think that it would still work with the chunk ripped out of it? Hey, I'm not an engineer. We don't know how the portal works. It was worth another try. There you are, Cabbage. What do you make of this? I'm afraid I don't know any more than you do. I'm not an engineer either. In any case, we should start thinking about who and when. There are patrols assigned to the portal and surrounding area day and night. If someone tampered with the portal, they must have seen something. Today's day patrol didn't notice anything unusual though. I guess she just missed the part about the portal being vandalized. It'd be easy to overlook, and it's a small part of the machine, and it's not like she was expecting to check every square inch of it with each lap around the area. What about the night patrol then? When I went over the reports this morning, I noticed the night patrol hadn't handed theirs in yet. And who was patrolling last night? Let me think for a moment. The schedule always goes in a certain order, so last night would have been... Dang. What is it? The night patrol last night would have been Maverick, but I got wrapped up in all the recent chaos and forgot to find a replacement for him when he went on sick leave. Maybe Amro was right to take me off this case. There was no night guard here at all? That's right. Whoever it was had an easy time doing whatever they wanted. Could it have been Maverick? If he knew no one was going to be here, he could have used that knowledge to his advantage. You couldn't have known that I'd forget to find a replacement, though. I don't usually slip up like this. What about Reza? Why would he have done it? He'd be cutting off his only way out. No, he'd be doing something smart. If he has the part needed to repair the portal again, to get the portal working again, he's in control of who gets to use it. He's cutting off our ability to communicate with mankind. We wouldn't be able to inform them of Reza's actions. Maybe we shouldn't have kept the investigation secret for so long. If your theory is true, that would be the proof of Reza's actions are his own, not humanity's. Hey, I already trust you on that. Or it's a stunt to grant humanity plausible deniability. No way, things are too dire for the humans to take such an extraordinary risk, especially for that. I'm sure that wouldn't be the only reason they benefit though. There must be something we're not aware of. Maybe we're looking at this from the wrong angle. If no one was here to guard the portal, anyone could have broken it. It doesn't necessarily have to do with have anything to do with Reza or Maverick. But they still have great motives. Sure, but they definitely aren't the only ones to have. There could be a private group who are interested in the technology or its significance as a human artifact. So that puts us exactly nowhere. At least as far as speculation is concerned. It's about time for forensics to show up. Anyway, let's hope we can pull some clues from all this. Sebastian, can you take it from here? You've been just as dedicated to the case as I have. Since I'll have to be at the Minister's side for a while, I'd like you to take charge of the investigation for now. Thanks, Chief. I won't let you down. What's up with that, anyways? Being appointed as Emra's bodyguard as punishment just seems strange to me. Are you kidding? I could have lost my job. This is a way better outcome. Honestly, she probably did it for her own sake more than anything else. But I'm not going to complain. If that's all, I'm going to head back to the Ministry. I shouldn't keep her waiting. So, what does that make you now? Temporary Chief? More like case leader. By the way, you don't need to stick around while forensics does their job. Thanks for your help. I assume you can find your way back to the apartment? Yeah, of course. Alright, I'll see you later then. See you. I considered spending my free time roaming the town, but decided that it would be best to keep myself out of the spotlight. After cooking myself a rudimentary meal, I considered picking up another book when the doorbell rang. Hey, Cabbage. Hey, Sebastian, do you need my help again? We're just a small town police department, and with Bryce removed from the case, our resources are thinner than ever. I understand, so what do you have for me? First up is the primary witness in the latest murder, the victim's colleague, Anna. She was the one who found the body. A few things have changed since this morning, and as we've gotten some additional information from forensics, that warrants further questioning. She can be found in the production facility. You seemed interested in that underground building near the portal. I realized you might actually be able to help us with it. Since it's suspected to be of human origin, your opinion would be greatly appreciated. I guess I should add archaeologist to my resume. Maybe human matters consultant would be more appropriate. Do you really think it's okay for me to tamper with your priceless discoveries? Oh, you wouldn't actually go there in person. I just want you to take a look at the collected information in the archives and give us your opinion. Besides, no one is allowed to visit at the moment. The building is old and unstable, and there's a danger of it collapsing or flooding. Obviously, we don't want either of those to happen. Flooding? Yeah, the whole building is underground, and we've determined that there is a rather large pocket of water surrounding it. Any kind of disturbance could endanger everything and everyone inside. I see. We've also located another witness for the latest murder. A store clerk reported seeing and hearing something, so probably worth it to ask him a few questions. Got it. Here are all the details. Visit me at the department once you're done. Sure thing. It was interesting that they still relied on me for their investigations. Even after they tried to send me back to my world, I didn't expect them to allow me to help with police matters after everything that had happened. Now that the possibility of sending me back was eliminated, the advantages of having me on their side apparently outweighed the risks. Though I had to wonder, who would have to be more careful from now on? What should we do? Alright, so YouTube. I believe this is... Is it actually only 5:30? 5:30 for my time, that is. Okay, so I've actually been going... Okay, yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna be doing this, and then we're gonna be calling the episode. So, up to YouTube, we can visit the production facility, we can visit the police archives, or we can visit the store. And we can potentially do both. We can potentially only do the one. And there's even the potential that we might not even get any of that done. The choice is up to you, YouTube. In this case, I'm actually looking at and waiting for Justin and or Gabriel. And I believe you guys are both in chat, so yeah, I'm expecting answers. Even if it's an I don't know or whatever, I at least want an answer. Well, I can't see anything right now, but I think our crows are back. It's either actually the wind over there that I'm seeing, but that's a lot of movement from one crow. I heard one, but man, are those things actually big there. So there is my cat right there, actually looking at the camera. That's convenient. The crows are actually bigger than my cat back there. Yeah, bigger than that. Alright, so visit the store. Oh, it's her again. If you mix up the prescriptions again, I can't help you. I can't refill this one. We're just about to close, so you'll have to bring the right one tomorrow. Hello, Cabbage. How can I help you? Actually, I'm just about to close up here, so please make it quick. I'm here on behalf of the police, and I was hoping that you could answer a few questions. I see. Well, I don't mind as long as you make it quick. I have to leave for my other job soon. Clara, what are you still doing here? I already told you you had to come back tomorrow. Here, have a lolly on the house. I guess she doesn't want it. What's the deal with her? I'm not sure what's up with her lately. This isn't the first time that this has happened. One time the doctor forgets to issue a new prescription. Another time she brings me an expired one instead of the new one. She isn't exactly the brightest, but this is unusual even for her. So, what did you want to know? Alright, so choice time. Hawks are showing up commonly speaking birds. For me, these are still normal birds. They're just crows. We have, sing-song birds, tweet tweet, and every once in a while we actually get crows because I think they're after the garbage. So they come in, scare the other birds away, and then you hear caw caw instead. Alright, so real quick, just to bring this up before story time. Should we follow Vera, or should we actually stay and ask questions? Story times. Stay? Alright. Is this because I ruined Mara for you, Justin, that you wanted to stay? As I said, this is about the ongoing police investigation. You reported seeing something yesterday evening, and any information you could have could help. Can you tell me exactly what happened? Of course. This was after I came back from my second job, so around 2 or 3 in the morning. It was dark and I couldn't make out much, but the police requested that anything unusual be reported. And what did you see? There was a human-like figure walking away from the production facility. It seemed to be in a hurry, too. Yes. Let Ember be Ember, and yes. Poor Ember. She's gonna have to be discovered by who knows what. Poor Ember. You cruel person, you. No, I'm just kidding, sorry. There was a hurry, too. Are you sure this is a human? Unmistakably so. I couldn't make out any details, though. Honestly, if you were the figure, I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. What did you do when you saw it? Nothing. I was on my way home, and it was a little unusual, but I wouldn't have bothered to mention it under normal circumstances. I only did so because the police requested for witness. Do you have the direction the person went? 1 second. It'll be easier to draw the sketch for you. That'd be great, thanks. So, sorry about that, Justin. Ember, in this case, should be fine. It's just that Justin, why am I thinking Justin? Sebastian, that's the one. He's probably gonna find Ember anyways. When she heard that Spyro and Laura first met. Oh man, that'll be interesting. I don't think that actually comes up officially, but that'll be interesting how Ember from Enter the Dragonfly is, oh, can you make these into cute little heart pieces, smashing this thing? And she discovers, what? You were with Elora first? He grabbed a piece of paper and drew on it with a thick felt-tipped pen. Here, this is the east entry of the facility, and this is where they went. So, away from the main district? Hero's Tale. My mistake. I'm kinda tempted to play Enter the Dragonfly, but I'm not actually too tempted to even try. I guess so. Okay, that'll be all. Thanks for the help. You're welcome. Before deciding my next move, I returned to the apartment for a moment of rest. A small piece of paper had been slipped under my door while I was gone. Don't go to the portal, was all it said. I considered the possibility of a hidden message, but that was unlikely. The statement was blunt and quickly scrawled. Someone clearly didn't want me to go to the portal. Or why would I go there in the first place? As it was out of order right now, such an action would serve no purpose. Yeah, if they remake Enter the Dragonfly, but the thing is, before you remake Enter the Dragonfly, Activision, please, 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 for the love of God, give us a new Spyro story first. Like, we have Crash 4. I wouldn't mind as a trilogy of new stories for Spyro. Technically for Crash 4, but Spyro's my point. I would love to have a new Spyro story before you actually remake another Enter the Dragonfly or something. I looked outside the window at the portal's faint silhouette in the distance. The paper rustled between my fingers as I fidgeted with it, wondering about the message's sender and significance. My train of thought was violently interrupted by a sharp burst of gunfire echoing from the portal. First a new story, then remake Enter the Dragonfly. And on that note, Activision actually did promise extra egg challenges and orb challenges and stuff with the Reignited trilogy, and they never actually got around to it. So that's kind of a shame, and we should actually get that as well. Yeah, I would be down to get Enter the Dragonfly as well, but seriously, enough for the remakes. We've had remakes for the half a decade now. We want actually new content now, please. In my case, I could actually just boot up EPSXE and play the original. I could download the ROM for Enter the Dragonfly and actually play that. Echoing the portal. I had to think fast. Gunshots ensured Rez's involvement. He was at the portal. The question was, why? If this was his attempt to flee back to the human world, he would receive a rather unpleasant surprise the moment he would try to use the portal. Or maybe Sebastian's theory was correct and Reza held the part needed to repair the portal, in which case his escape could be imminent. Yes, remaster the Legend of Spyro trilogy. But not just a remake, isn't? Well, remastering would be the same content, but if you remake it, then it would actually be the option to add new content. I suppose on that note, if you actually add new content but you don't change the original story, I would love that. Because I'm the kind of I'm an old man, and I'm set in my ways, so if you remake Spyro and you change a dialogue and I catch it that's different, I'm gonna be, what are you guys doing with the old dialogue? This isn't right, and I'm gonna be so upset and miserable. That was me in Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's just, this didn't happen, this is so bad. Elijah Wood, bring him back. Yeah, I liked him as Spyro. And man, who is my favorite Sparks? I'm not sure if I liked the one from A New Beginning or I think it was Billy Wood from the second game. I don't remember voice actors well, so it was one of those two. I liked, I can't tell which one I liked more. The gunshots themselves were another question. Was someone trying to stop him? The police patrol may have seen him, and he may have been taken by surprise. This could be another murder in progress. David Spade, is that the... Okay, so David Spade or Billy Wood, I guess, would be my choices for a Sparks. I guess Wayne Brady. I didn't care much for Wayne Brady as Sparks in the third game. And that was... just because it didn't fit Sparks. I don't know him as a voice actor really, so I can't say. It's just... he didn't fit Sparks. It just felt weird. The gunshots themselves were another question. Was somebody trying to stop him? The police patrol may have seen him, and he may have been taken by surprise. This could be another murder in progress. But all of his murders were committed with a sharp weapon, not a gun. He didn't want to be heard. Alright. Besides, it was only early evening, and the town was still bustling. If Reza wanted to stay hidden, he was doing a rather poor job at it. Of course, there was also the possibility that he wanted to be heard. But who did he want to be attracting? The police? Maverick? It could be just a trap for those hunting him. And that technically included me. I wasn't sure if he knew of my involvement in the investigation. There was a very real possibility that he knew my apartment was close enough to the portal to hear a gunshot. Could it be a signal for me? Regardless, the words I held in my hands were unmistakable. Do not go to the portal. What should I do? That being said, should we go to the portal? Or should we not go to the portal? Do we heed the paper's advice? Or do we disregard the paper? Actually, one thing regarding Legend of Spyro, not so much that I want it remade, I would love it if it is remade, and I would love that before Enter the Dragonfly or Hero's Tale. But I would absolutely love a completely new story in the Legend of Spyro theme setting. Of Spyro, I'm surprised how that actually became my favorite Spyro trilogy, in fact. So I would absolutely love to have a new Legend of Spyro. Well, I think it might just be Justin now. I only see 2 concurrent viewers in YouTube now. Alright, Justin. This is all up to you now. Unless I'm wrong and somebody else is actually in chat. Make it a collection with a fancy name. It doesn't even need to have a fancy name. Blizzard had remade StarCraft. Well, no, they didn't remake it. They remastered it. So now, literally, with the original 1991 game, might have been 1990 even, but with that original game, you can actually change it from the 4:3 aspect ratio that was the norm at the time into the 16:9. You can actually zoom in and out now, which you couldn't do before, so I guess that would actually be an update. They also allowed you to go from the original 1990 pixels, so you would have like this 640 by 480 tiny little box, and it would be just stretched onto the big screen. And you also now have remastered pixels, or pixels, what am I talking about? Sprites. So now you can have the original, again, the absolute original tiny little letterbox 4x3 480 pixels everything, or you can actually remaster it so that it's your full desktop monitor with remastered pixels and everything, and you can actually switch between those with just the F5 button. So they are touching it up a little bit. They're not actually changing anything, they're just updating the graphics. That's a remaster. I think they might have even called it StarCraft Remastered. It might even just simply still be StarCraft still. Same game. Literally the same download files and everything, just an update. Yeah, sure, make it a collection. It doesn't... I suppose if you're putting 3 games into one, it would technically need that, a new name. Like a collection, a trilogy. The Legend of Trilogy. Spyro Trilogy. Alright, so real quick, Justin, I'm gonna have to ask you if you want to stay inside and call the police, or do you want to go to the portal? One or two. Does that mean you haven't actually played Spyro? Or not Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, the original trilogy? I remember... I think I was actually playing Crash 3, and that might have been the only game I actually played before, technically, and that was Naughty Dog. The whole series was by Naughty Dog. Call the police. Alright. Ultimately, I trusted the mysterious message. Remy's list of phone numbers given to me when he brought me to this apartment in the first place proved to be a valuable tool. I dialed the emergency line and was greeted by a calm voice asking me about my emergency. The gravity of the situation was understood, and I was advised to stay inside until further notice. A team was dispatched to deal with the situation while I waited at my window. I tried to catch a glimpse of what was going on at the portal, but I couldn't see much. The dark night was fast approaching. An hour later, I was informed that the team had searched the perimeter, though no trace of Reza was found. I was given the go-ahead to continue with my investigation, but I was free to stay where I was if I felt I was safe. Alright, now, Justin. You are the only one here. Sorry. So you have another choice. We can now visit the production facility, we can visit the police archives, or we can wait it out. And if I remember right, we get some new dialogue that we haven't actually heard before from Anna at the production facility. Technically, we raced through it last week, but it's new dialogue. Only played Crash 1, PS1, Crash Team Racing, Twinsanity, Crash. For me, it was Crash Team Racing on the PS1, Crash Bash, Crash 3. I think it was Mind Over Mutant on PSP. Went back in 2010. That's when I played that. And I can't remember if it was Crash Team Racing or Crash Nitro Kart, or if I had played actually both of them. I think on the GameCube. Not that much of it. Fair enough, Justin. I do like Crash. I don't like what they did to Crash in Skylanders. But, given the choice between Crash and Spyro, I absolutely love Spyro. He's my favorite. But, back on the PS1 I had Crash and Spyro, so having only a select number of games, I love both of them equally. Alright, so, let me just... What do you want to do, Justin? Do you want to go to the production facility, the police archives, or wait it out? Oh yeah, and of course I have, yeah, so I actually have this one now. Hey, camera? Yep, that's on camera. I have that one now. I haven't actually played it yet. And I of course have this one. And then of course, it shouldn't be a surprise, but I unlocked all the Spyro stuff from the Spyro Grand Prix in CTR Nitro Field. Crash one of the Uncharted games, but I'll have to. Alright, fair enough. I don't think Double is lurking. He hasn't actually said anything, but that's completely fair. I don't know if there are demos on the remastered games, because I remember Crash 3. Yeah, it was Crash 3, in which you could actually unlock a demo using one of those cheat codes, and then instead of playing Crash 3, you would actually have a demo, 2 worlds of Spyro 2, Ripto's Rage. And then Spyro would likewise have a demo of Crash, but it wasn't Crash 3, it was CTR. So for a while, whenever I wanted to play CTR, it was actually a demo from Spyro 2. And it was one of those cheat codes, like triangle, triangle, start, left, right, up, down on the main menu, and it'll just give a chime and unlock those demos. I think when I actually did get CTR, that also had a demo, and it was actually Spyro 1. So that was my first experience with Spyro, is literally the Artisan's Homeworld, that town square, that level. I think those are actually the only 2 levels that I had in the Spyro demo. Everything else was literally locked in. Hey, if you wanted to go further, you should buy the game. And I eventually found it, and I was, oh yay! Facility. Okay. Man, that's kind of weird, actually, is, Crash 3 has a demo to Spyro 2, which I already had, but that had a demo to CTR, which had a demo to Spyro 1. What a back and forth. Hey, Cabbage. Laura, what are you doing here? I'm just fetching some equipment for my roommate. He's in the middle of an experiment and really needs this stuff. He sounded very emotional, which is very unusual for him. Alright, that's cool. I remember... Do you remember those PS1 discs where they were actually just literally cases, square cases with a disc inside? They sometimes had on the side that it was just a PS1. Sometimes it was actually PS1 greatest hit. And now that I think about it, it's true. They were greatest hits. They were actually really fun to play and everything. Sounds like it's serious. And you're here for important human business, I bet? Sure. By the way, how about I invite you to our place sometime? There's another thing you could help me with. What is it? I'd like to make some pictures of you. Okay. Did we actually see Lorm here? Yes we did. He's impressed. So, I like how he's here right now. I'd like to take some pictures of you. And actually, that's interesting. We haven't actually met Ipsum yet, but he already mentioned it now. Okay. I want to use them as reference for the humans in my game. I see. Well, I can't promise anything right now, but I'll keep that in mind. Great, thanks! I should really get going before my roommate blows up the apartment. Sure, take care. If you mean the original PS1 game, I'm impressed. I had a Sega Genesis for a long time after I think it was obsolete, and it finally just broke down. They kept breaking down on me, so finally it just broke down. No more Sega Genesis, but I was able to get a PS1 instead. And I got that rather late compared to literally everyone else. Like 3-ish years later. And I had that for a couple of years, and then the PS2 is announced and out. And it's, oh wow, I want to get that. But I'm definitely not getting that anytime soon. I think it was another 5 years before I got the PS2, and wow, the graphics are so good, this is so amazing. And by this point it's like 2007, 2008, so it's only a couple of years before the PS3 comes out. Oh well. I'm probably not gonna get the PS3 for a long time. And it turns out that, well, it's unfortunate news really, because both of my grandparents had just started passing away at that point, so my dad actually inherited their fortune, I guess. So he actually immediately got me a PS3, practically. So what did we say here? Sure, take care. You too. Hello, Gabriel. This should be the right place. Oh, it's you. I can't take any visitors at the moment. Alright. And enter the Dragonfly. The Spyro games I played, in order, was Spyro 2. That's the first one that I ever had. Then there was technically a demo for Spyro 1. But I actually got Spyro 3 first. And then I was able to get Spyro 1. In fact, I think I had the trilogy all at once from a pawn shop or something. So I mean, you know, whatever. It's a great game. I really want to play Spyro 1. And it was great. It was definitely worth it for $20 for all 3 games or something. But that was it, because I never had another Spyro game since, actually. The next time I actually played a Spyro game was a PS2 ROM of, I believe, The Legend of Spyro. And that was when I actually played it in order of A New Beginning, The Eternal Night, Dawn of the Dragon. And then I was seeing like Dobble playing A Hero's Tale in A Hero's Tale in his rerun stream. And then I actually got that for, I can't remember if it was on the Dolphin emulator or the PS2 emulator first. But I started playing that and it was really fun. Except I think it was the Dolphin emulator first for the GameCube. And I actually switched over to PS2 because I must have just switched off incorrectly. So I actually corrupted the save, and I was literally right at the end, and then I corrupted my save, and I had to go all the way back and do the whole thing again a second time. So the last 4 games, in fact, were actually emulators, and then... Actually, on that note, where is it? Here it is. Spyro, Reignited. So I guess I'll make the 8th game I played, Spyro. Let's see, so... Gabriel is just looking... Spyro games, I read that. My brother actually played Spyro 2 first as well. Alright, that's cool. I have a few questions about the murder of your colleague. Is that so? Why do you get to go around asking questions like that? Is it a matter of human interest? Actually, yes, you could say so. Interesting. What's in it for me? That's amazing, Justin. When Spyro Reignited launched, I can't remember. I think I got it at the equivalent of my GameStop. It's the same thing, except it's a different name in Canada, so it's EB Games for me. I can't remember if maybe I got it at Walmart. Because I got that or CTR at EB Games, and the price was actually obnoxious. EB Games was like $5 to $15 more than I would have gotten it at Walmart. I don't know. It's supposed to be a game store where games are cheap and playable and everything, and EB Games is in turn more expensive. So I'm not really going to be going there anymore. It kind of shames me to say that, but they are literally both in walking distance. Literally over, yeah, that way. For me, locally, spatially. Literally I just go over there, cross the highway. I can walk, because it is literally just walk over there, cross the highway, and I'm at Walmart or EB Games. So there is no difference for me whatsoever. Except for the, I guess, the store and the price. You couldn't get CTRNF when it fully launched because I was at Tombstone. Oh, you must be taking multiple trips to Tombstone then, huh? I couldn't get CTR immediately myself, but I was able to get it shortly after it launched, so I'm kind of happy about that. And then Spyro Grand Prix is just the awful timing. I'm in English 100. It's the hardest course I've ever had. I really need to be studying, and Grand Prix is right here, so now I need to play any possible moment I can to actually unlock everything Spiral. I'm just so glad there was actually not really any homework in the course. It was all lectures except for almost all lectures. Except for I had to have a English essay way at the end. Interesting. What's in it for me? Hey, I already agreed to your tests. I'm not sure what else I can offer you besides I'm working with the police, so your cooperation will be greatly appreciated. Spyro Circuit was fun. Yes, I was really enjoying Spyro. I was really enjoying the Grand Racing in general. Yeah, I was really enjoying racing in general, and I was really loving playing as Spyro. And I have that one Twitter video where I was actually doing really piss poor in this one race, and then I get a blue turbo power-up. So I just activated, and I almost spent an entire lap in blue turbo, going from last to second, and I was able to capture the whole thing in a 30-second lap. Yellow gem, skin, and wheel still. So that trade. Well, I wouldn't mind if you do get a Switch, then I would actually have somebody to play with. I would have an entire friend to play with! Alright, so let me just grab this whole collection here. So I've got Spyro, what is this? CTR, sure. Crash Insane Trilogy, that's not multiplayer. There's Super Mario 3D All-Stars, Starlink, Lego City Undercover, Smash Bros. Ultimate, Sonic Mania, Pokemon Shield, and Pokemon Let's Go. And then I think on my Switch itself I have Original Sin 2, Flashback, and Crosscode. And I think only Original Sin 2 is multiplayer on those three. So, man, if I actually have a friend, I would have a whole friend to play with. Literally, if you just had a Switch and you were willing to play with me, I would have one whole friend to play with. That's how sad it is. Anyways, back to Anna here. Your cooperation would be greatly appreciated. Cooperation? What a peculiar word. Do you even know what it means? It refers to people working together, and everyone making an effort. Cooperation isn't associated with ignoring the person you owe something to, or neglecting to return her phone calls. What? No, that has nothing to do with... You know, I'd love to help you, but I'm a very busy person, so I don't really have time for this. Excuse me. Anna roast. Well, that didn't go as planned. Guess I won't have any luck here. Phew, it's getting late. I better head to the police station now. Do I have everything? Alright, let's see what Sebastian has to say about this. Alright, I'll be wrapping this up, and I'll be... Oh, cat's awake. I'll be wrapping this up. Shit. I'll save real quick before the messages, and then I'll listen to the messages. That's what I usually do, of course. And then, boy, have we got an interesting episode for next week. Abandoned Anna because we didn't return her phone calls, and she's not talking to us at all. And then we also have Impressed Lorem and Impressed Bryce at the same time. There you are, Cabbage. Seems you've taken a liking to Bryce's chair. Maybe. I could get used to this. Don't tell Bryce, though. By the way, good job calling the police when you heard Reza. It's too bad that he got away again, but maybe a witness will come forward and we'll find out what happened. Now, let's take a look at what we've got for me. A statement from the SOAR clerk is interesting. We've had a few reports of Reza since he went into hiding, so this is very helpful. It's another confirmation of his involvement in this whole matter. Not bad, Cabbage. Not bad at all. Thank you for your help. I do what I can. I know, and your help is greatly appreciated, believe me, especially since we're so short on staff right now. Let's see, Angels with Scaly Wings, Finality, Have Ambassador, Last Ambassador. Last Ambassador. Can't say I know the reference right off the top of my head, and I can't say I agree anyways. Apparently I forgot to set my phone to Do Not Disturb, but apparently I was notified of Somebody else, live streaming soon. I wasn't actually interested in the person's live streams. That's fine. That'll be all for today. I'll contact you if you need anything. Of course. See you next time. See you. Alright, so I... LOL? Was that because I'm not interested in the guy's live streams? Yeah, I'm not. I'm not interested in the guy's language when he's not doing family-friendly stuff. I'm not interested in a lot of people when they're just not being family-friendly. But I do like his... I've actually been losing interest in his D&D series, but he has a web series of D&D whatever edition. I think the last... What was the last one I saw? It was doing like D&D Teachers Edition, Vampire Edition. That was a fairly recent one or something. I haven't seen a lot of it. I don't know. Super Saiyan, anime, D&D Edition, D&D DM Edition. It's literally a spoof of just D&D on whatever object. D&D Florida Edition, Part 7. D&D Canada Edition. Finally, a free day. What should I do? Looks like there are some messages. Let's make the save right here. I don't know what that little icon on the top left there is. That is not right. But that looks like Discord. That actually looks like a quarter of Justin's personal messages image there. Water, earth, fire, air. Maybe Avatar: The Last Airbender? I want to say Golden Treasure because those are the 4 elements and I've been playing that last night. But I don't recall that reference, and you probably haven't seen more than I have. I've seen literally as much as Doppel did so far. So I'm gonna have to guess Avatar: The Last Airbender? Oh wow, I actually nailed it. I still haven't actually seen that one myself. Hello, Jason. Have you actually seen what was going on? I'm still in the public chat if you want to wrap this up real quick. I am actually wrapping this up. Let's see what some of the messages on the answer machine. Let's see. Hey, I was just thinking about last time. I know we got a little blackout drunk. Give me just a second here. Alright, sorry about that. You thought it was me, but it was I, Bryce! Yes, after getting blackout drunk. But I still thought it was kind of fun. That... yeah, I put just a little bit of work into the intermission screen. In fact, hang on, let me bring that back up. I don't need the music there, but... Where actually is that? What the VLC capture? HUD group? No, it can't be that. Intermission. Yeah, now I know where that was from. Yeah, I had the video done for literally the intermission if it ever comes up, and then I put the technical stuff in its place. So that'll be my intermission. It has audio too. And, hang on, let me just get rid of that. Yeah, so I have that intermission for the oops technical difficulties and the be right back because I'm doing stuff there. Alright. I think you had some fun too, but I also wanted to show you that there's more to me than that. So I was just wondering if you wanted to come over and hang out and relax, you know? But we only get to see each other when things are all serious, and I bet that's rough for you with everything that's going on. I figured you might want to get away from that just a little. Meanwhile, my intermission stream, the pause... Yeah, I think that was basically my intermission as well, but considering that I have a webcam for in case I actually need to do something, like, in my case, I had a phone call. So, I'm glad that I had the intermission screen to cover for me. Anyway, if you want to drop by at any time, my door is open, buddy. I just like that little reference there. Buddy. Considering what happened last time, entering the literal dragon's den could either turn out really well or not so much. Wait, was that actually the only thing? Status. Lorem? Aren't you supposed to leave a message as well? Yeah, Lorem was supposed to leave a message as well. That's odd. Because he's impressed. Yeah, he's impressed. We're also supposed to get an achievement, but I've already got the achievement, so I'm not really that surprised. Either that or blue screen. Alright, so that will be everything for this week's stream. We can no longer talk with Anna because she's rather pissed at us. In fact, upload status. Yeah. Abandoned. She's upset with us. We're in good status with Remy. We've seen him one time. Lorem, we've seen him one time. He's impressed. He's ecstatic. We've been with Bryce. He's impressed. But he's not blushing. Poor Adine, though. She's just been completely neglected. So, this brings us up to the end of the episode today. So, thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you guys again next week. Or, you know, in Discord and whatever. Next week is the Chapter 3 dates. Not actually the scenes, because we've only seen Chapter 1 from most of everyone, except for Adine. But this is the third chapter for the dates, so we can actually do Bryce twice and catch up. We could do Lorem twice and catch up. Remy twice and catch up. We could do Adine twice and not quite catch up, but we'll be able to catch up by the end of the story in 2 weeks after, if we do double Adine. So that being said, here we are. I'm going to be ending the stream. I am going a little bit over time from what I intended. Sad, mad Anna. I don't know if she's even mad. I don't know if she's even sad, actually. Well, maybe she is mad, actually. Yeah. She might be. I don't know. She's hard to read. Anyways, we can absolutely catch up. We can still do... well, everyone, really. They can catch up for the final scene on any of the characters, one of them only, on anyone but Anna right now, it seems like. Still, that's not going to be her good or bad ending. We've got something else in mind. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you guys again next time for some rather crazy mix-up things. In fact, I think the only thing that's actually missing from these statuses right now is we need Lorem or Bryce in a bad status. And then we would have one of everything. We would have a good, we would have an abandoned, we would have an impressed, would have a bad, we would have a neutral. We are just one off from having every status in the game. Alright. Thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you guys again next time. And I will be right back, and I may be in Star Wars in Discord if anyone is interested in that. The good, the bad, the cabbage. It's better than that. It's the good, the bad, the abandoned, the neutral, the impressed. Alright, see you guys everyone.